following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sound 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and young guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in Middle Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee. It's football time in Tennessee, and that's a good thing. And we welcome all of you in. We have a rip-roaring show this afternoon. Let's get it underway. Let's call roll. Let's start up on the plateau. Say hello to Coach Watson Brown. Watson, how are you?
George, I'm doing great. You? Long time no see.
It has been a long time. By the way, confirm or deny, I paid for your lunch.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if it was worth letting you do that.
You didn't think about it, did you?
That's something I've used for a long time.
It can be hell.
You paid for the lunch. Golly, bum. How stupid was that, Billy? I let him
I
pay
can't
for
believe
the
I
lunch.
just heard that happen.
I can't believe I did that. That's a weak moment on my part. A very weak moment.
You knew he was going to bring it up today too.
Didn't take long, did it?
Didn't long. Not much of past the hello.
20 seconds.
I mean, hello. Who paid for lunch today? Jeez.
Oh, it's so true. I love
It is true.
I know it is. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Hello, Billy.
Hello, George.
Who's Father Ryan play this week?
They got JP2 Pope Prep.
You
They're
won't be
tomorrow
there,
night.
though, will you?
I will not be there.
This is the Catholicism Bowl.
Yes, it is. The only two Catholic private schools in the mid-state.
Okay.
Going at it. So looking forward to it.
Guys, we begin the show every day with our daily Titans update with Terry McCormick. This one is going to take a little longer
This
than
ain't good.
normal. And no, it isn't. And we're going to practice here a couple of things. Billy is going to do some reading and then breaking news sounder.
Yeah, we do have a breaking news sounder. I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll vote on it.
But George, Terry is powered by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty. Call them at 615-906-8458. And also Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need. Now with two convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Okay, let's say hello to Terry McCormick. Ooh, those Yankees are playing well, aren't they?
Stayed up and watched them last night, and
I did too.
just cannot hit the ball.
It's amazing. They better get their act in gear in September, or they're going home way earlier than we think. But we digress. We have some serious news involving the Titans. It is breaking news, and it's not good news, unfortunately. It involves Harold Landry. Terry, give us all the details.
Well, George, there was a report that came out, and I've been able to confirm it. Harold Landry torn ACL in yesterday's practice, obviously after the media time was over, and he's going to miss the entire 2022 season. This is a serious blow to the Titans defense because Harold Landry was a cornerstone of that unit last year. He had 12 sacks in the offseason. They re-signed him to a 5-year, $87.5 million deal with $52 million or so of it guaranteed. he's going to be a hard man to replace at that outside linebacker position. So my guess would be that the first man who will get a shot there is going to be Rashad Weaver, the second-year man from Pittsburgh, who had a really good-looking training camp and preseason. But it's going to be all hands on deck to try and fill in where Harold Landry is going to be missing.
Let me bring Watson into this if we're able to. Watson, I could tell just by the look on your face, nothing good about this. Can they overcome this injury?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can, but they're not. We talked about, are they as good this year going into the season as they were last? They're not now. That's a big blow. And that many sacks, Bud Dupree had helped that sack because they couldn't just lean toward Landry. Now they're going to be leaning toward Bud Dupree. And, yeah, that hurts. That one and Simmons would be the two that I would have said they cannot afford to lose one of those two guys. And here, Byer might be the third one on defense. And now they've lost one of those guys they just couldn't afford to lose. Weaver's played great. I picked him out early, George, in the preseason about how well he was playing. But I don't think he's a 12-sack guy.
Yeah. So, Terry, you brought up a little bit of how they'll try to, replace him. Do you see anything on the trade front that they might do because of this?
Not right now. I mean, it's still a possibility, George. They're going to leave no stone unturned in order to try and get as good a option in there as they can. They'll probably sift through the waiver wire cuts, look through teams' practice squads to see if there's somebody they want to bring up. There's a kid on the practice squad named David Anini. He was number 54. You may have seen him get a couple of sacks in the preseason. He looks like he has some potential, but once again, not nearly the track record or the pedigree of Harold Landry, who has really, the one thing about Harold Landry that I can say here, George, in addition to him being one of their better pass rushers, he's been very durable. He's missed one game in 4 years. So that's another thing. And he also wound up playing about 75, 80% of the snaps, maybe more in some years. So you're losing a guy who is just one of the stalwarts of your defense, not only from his production, but just from his availability.
Okay, let me bring Watson back in here. Watson, you know a lot about football injuries. Torn ACL, how long? What's the rehab? Talk about that, if you will.
9 month area. He'll be fine. He can get back from this, but way too long of recovery to think anything about this season. I think they'll be okay. Where they're gonna miss it to me is in their pass rush team. When they'd get in long yardage and they'd move Autry inside, and then they'd have Dupree and Landry on the outside. Autry played one of the ends on the early downs, and then Dupree and Landry alternated at the other one a lot of the time, George. So they'll be okay on early downs, in my opinion. They've got to find if one of these guys is just a pass rusher alone, they could still cover it up some way. But when they went to their 4 pass rushers, Simmons, Autry inside, Dupree and Landry outside, I thought that was the best foursome in the league last year. And the number one guy was, in my opinion, Landry. So I think that's where we're going to see a difference, is those second and third and long situations when they put all 4 of those in there together.
Terry, now let's move on. Let's move on to Josh Gordon, who the Titans signed today and put on the practice squad. First of all, what does that part mean? Because I would think if he's healthy and has no issues off the field, he could help them immediately, could he not?
Yeah, he probably could. Now, obviously, he's not been available a good amount of the time that he's been in the league because of various drug suspensions and things like that. But he is a guy who could come in. There's a couple of reasons for putting him on the practice squad to start the year. For one, you won't have to guarantee the salary, I don't believe. And for two, that gives him a little bit of time to learn the offense, get some time with Ryan catch some passes, run some routes, do the things that he needs to do to get acclimated to their playbook and their scheme, and also to Tannehill. So it's a low risk, high reward type of move by having him on the practice squad right now, because if you give him a spot on the 53-man roster right now, his salary would be guaranteed for the full year. And to me, with his track record and his history, that's something they can't afford to do.
Yeah. So let me ask this question. Watson, as a receiver coming in, this is September the 1st. They open a week from Sunday. Realistically, how long should it take Josh Gordon to learn what they're doing?
What they'll do with him, George, I know what they'll do. They'll start him slow. They'll play him a certain number of plays. He will know those plays when they put him in the game. He'll gain the offense as he goes through the year. 3 weeks, 3 games in, I think he'll be fine and ready to go. These offenses are so similar in the way they call them, and it's just memorizing verbiage a little bit, way they teach pass pattern stuff. He's been around a long while, so I don't think that's an issue. You'll see him early. There's no doubt in my mind Terry's right. They put him on the practice squad to save money, 100% so. They didn't sign him to leave him there. I can tell you that. They're going to use him, and I'll bet you. I don't know how quick he can come off the practice squad, Terry. I don't know how that works, but as soon as they can, you'll see him play quick.
Yeah, he could be up for the first game, maybe as a practice squad elevation or something like that. Or they could wait, and put him out there in week 2 or 3, call him up to the active roster and keep him there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use him going forward. But Watson's right. They're taking a look at him and taking a flyer on him, expecting him to contribute something. They're not just handing out a spot on the practice squad just because he's been in the league a long time.
Terry, with Josh Gordon, we've seen his past and everything he's been through. He didn't do much on the Chiefs, but what potential do you think he does have, especially with the chance of him being able to play early?
Well, I mean, he's a veteran guy. He still has something left in the tank. He's going to at least make defenders respect the fact that he's on the field. Sometimes that's good because you can use that guy to clear things out and then throw it to somebody else underneath or in another route. So even if he doesn't come out here and catch 60 passes for the Titans, he can still be valuable in terms of defenses will have to respect his presence on the field to a certain degree.
Terry, let's get to the last item, and that is Derrick Henry today with a contract extension. Give us the details.
Well, it's kind of a rework contract, not really an extension. The contract, according to what I think it was Ian Rappaport that put it out there, still ends after 2023. So the Titans are going to have to make a decision on Derrick Henry after next year, but this move to rework the deal is going to give them a little bit more cap space so that they can maneuver a little bit. Obviously, they're going to maybe need a pass rusher to replace Harold Landry if they want to go out there on the open market and try to find one. So this allows them to do some of that.
Wow. What a busy day and not all good.
No, it wasn't.
Terry, thanks for the update. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same place.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
That's Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. Wish the news was better. Wish Harold Landry nothing but the best in a speedy recovery from this ACL injury. Okay, let's get to the update. It'll be a short update, but some important stuff nonetheless. Billy, lay it on us.
We start in the NFL. Russell Wilson kind of slipped through the cracks here. Was it today? This news came out today?
Yeah. Okay,
so this news came out today. Russell Wilson has signed a 5-year deal with the Denver Broncos. Pretty good summer for franchise players in Denver, by the way. He's got an average annual salary of $49 million a year, and that'll keep him in Denver through the 2028 season. And he's already got the third highest deal in NFL history in terms of guaranteed money. So Broncos placing a lot of value in Russell.
Watson, there are a couple of things here. First of all, he's taken a horrific beating in Seattle in recent years, which is, I think, part of the reason he sort of wanted out of there. They never quite got their offensive line the way they needed to help him. He has been sort of making these rumblings about he wants to play like Tom Brady well into his 40s. Do you think he can?
I don't know. Isn't it amazing how these guys now are starting to say that because Brady did it? Well, if Brady can do it, I can do it. I mean, LeBron James, I'm going to play into my 40s. I mean, Russell Wilson, I'm going to play into my 40s. I mean, I can say I'm going to play into my 80s, I guess, George, but that don't mean I can. I don't know that I'd even try to guess that. I mean, one bad injury could end that this year. So it's interesting that these guys make that. To me, throw that statement out, it means nothing.
By the way, later when we do Underdog Picks,
oh God,
check out your picture.
George, what is this? Just because you pay for lunch, or you just
hold on a second? Can we go ahead and show it to him?
Oh, we're just going to reveal everybody's too?
No, is there a way to just show his?
No, I'm not showing it yet.
Really?
I'll just say it's not blonde hair.
No, it is not, but it's long hair.
It sure is.
Wow.
Jeez.
Vandy Watson Brown. Hey, okay, real quick. Tell us about Saturday night and what's going on with you.
Georgia, it's a really neat honor for me that they're honoring the fans voted on the top 100 players in the last 100 years. And I was voted as one of those. And that's not what makes it neat for me. I get to thinking about this and I said, here I am. I'm coming in with 100 guys. And I watched a bunch of these guys in my young years play. I played with quite a few players that are on this team. And gosh, I coached no telling how many of these kids as a graduate assistant with Steve Sloan, as the offensive coordinator with George McIntyre, and then as the head coach myself. So many players are on this 100 that I coached through that. It's really neat. A lot of people are starting to do this as their schools reach their 100th year, and it's just an honor. And man, I'm looking so much forward to the function before the game Saturday night and getting to see so many of these guys, from the Whit Taylors to the Alama Matthews to the I don't know, I can't name. There's just so many kids. I used to watch Bill Wade play for the Bears, George. I mean, just neat to go. Players you watch play, players you played with, Bob Asher, Pat Toomey, two pro guys forever that I played with, Christy Houck, and then the ones I coached. So this is neat for maybe the wrong reasons for me, but it's really neat.
Yeah, it is neat. First of all, congratulations. That's a terrific honor, and I hope it's a fun weekend for you.
Yeah, I do too. I don't see how it couldn't be, getting to see these guys.
Yeah. Okay, couple of other update notes.
Couple others here, George. West Virginia and Pitt tonight in the Backyard Brawl. That'll be at 6 o'clock ESPN. And we also got Purdue and Penn State tonight in a good Big Ten matchup. George, I know you guys know this, but West Virginia and Pitt, it's a battle of two former USC quarterbacks. JT Daniels at West Virginia, Caden Slovis at Pitt. Pitt's a 7-point favorite in that one. Real quick, West Virginia, Pitt, quick thoughts.
Give me Caden Slovis.
You like Slovis?
Yeah. Oh, over JT Daniels? Yeah.
Yeah, this one for me is a little tougher because I know the rivalry, and it is deep. This one goes back. And usually rivalry games, those point spreads don't mean near as much. So I think this one's going to go to the wire. I'm not sure who will win it. I'd probably just pick Pitt if I was just going to pick, but this one's going to the wire, and I'll be very surprised if it's not. How about these kind of football games on, George, tonight?
I love it.
Isn't that amazing? And we get to watch Tennessee too, so playing on a Thursday night. But how about Penn State, Purdue, and this game, West Virginia and Pitt tonight? It start this long weekend of football.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It does not get much better. Purdue, Penn State, James Franklin rolling into West Lafayette. Penn State's a 3.5-point favorite there. So we'll be keeping an eye on those. George, NBA news to round us out. The Utah Jazz have traded Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland. And the Jazz will receive Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, and Colin Sexton. Mitchell will join Darius Garland in the Cavs backcourt. A little bit of an upgrade there at the guard spot in Cleveland.
Yeah. So the rumor was that Donovan Mitchell for weeks was going to the Knicks, and only the Knicks could screw it up this bad.
God, you got that right.
They are a disaster. Donovan Mitchell is probably sitting there going, thank God.
I mean, do we put the Knicks and the Browns in kind of the same
yeah.
category? Do you kind of go there right now? It seems like either one of them just could mess it up big time. Just give them a chance, they'll mess it up.
Hey, we've got a good show for you today. Let me tell you a little bit about what we've got going on. In a few moments, we'll hear from MTSU football coach Rick Stockstill. Then we'll debate this new arrangement that may happen as soon as tomorrow. College football playoff could expand to 12. At 5 o'clock, we will debut our underdog picks, and it'll be fun to see who the other two are besides me and Watson. Let's just say I got a lot of past history with that group. And then, you know what? After that's done, they'll probably throw us off the air.
Probably deserve it.
Yeah, probably so. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. Stick around. College football is here, and that's a good thing. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
we get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Barner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
We are back, and as a lot of you know, MTSU opens their season Saturday at James Madison, but a strange story as to how they got there. Missouri backed out of a game with Middle that would have been in Murfreesboro, and that cost Missouri's athletic department a cool $800,000 to get out of it. James Madison, trying to go FBS, needed a home game to be able to qualify as FBS. And so they offered $750,000 to Middle for the right to have the Blue Raiders go up there and play what is a road game. So with all of that in the backdrop, a little $1.5 million windfall, the youngest intern I have ever hired, 18-year-old Lewis Maddox, who is a freshman at MTSU, sat down or perhaps stood up and interviewed Coach Rick Stockstill.
All right, Coach Stockstill, week one is upon us, and I want to start off for this game talking about your opponent for this Saturday. The Dukes of James Madison have certainly going to pose a challenge for your Blue Raiders this Saturday as you head to Virginia. A 12-2 record last year for the Dukes and a trip to the FCS National Championship. They did lose that game, but now a team that's going to be transferring over to the FBS, and this will be their first game in the FBS. Obviously a team that's going to have a lot of confidence coming off of a run like that. What has your message been to your staff and your guys this week?
Well, I think the big thing is we know we're playing a really good football team, but we can't control how they're going to play. We can only control what we do and how we prepare and then how we play. So the big thing is just focus on us, focus on ourselves, prepare ourselves mentally and physically to play the best game we can. You know, they're a talented team, like you said. They were 12-2, and they lost a tough game there, a one-score game to North Dakota State in the semifinals there. But I think their transition from FCS to FBS is going to be very seamless because they've been playing for a long time. They've had a lot of success. So this is a good football team we're playing, and looking forward to it, though. Opening week, man, it's an exciting time.
Absolutely, Coach. And like you mentioned, this is their first year in the FBS. You guys will be the first team to travel over there as an FBS school and play them at their home stadium. It's definitely a game with an intriguing storyline, some noise around this one. Do you think it'll be a challenge to keep your guys focused on this game? If so, how do you manage all that excitement?
No, I mean, there's always first game butterflies, first game nerves, all that. But no, we're locked in. You know, we're not going to. You know, we've been in 100,000 seat stadiums before. We're not going to let stuff outside the white lines distract us from our objective of what we're going up there for. So we know it's going to be a good team. It's going to be an exciting environment. They're looking forward to it, but we're also looking forward to it.
Absolutely, Coach. Now transitioning over to a little bit of your team for this season. Defensively, you have lost a few All-Conference USA guys on that side of the ball. Give a little synopsis of your defense, if you will, and maybe some of those new guys stepping into those positions and how you think that will fare for your team on Saturday?
Yeah, we lost some good players last year to graduation, and a handful of guys to the transfer portal. So, but right now the strength of our defense is up front. We got all those guys coming back. Jordan Ferguson, Marley Cook, Zaylin Wood, Jordan Branch, Moose, J.K. Wyatt. Those guys. Young guy DeMonte Smith has really done a nice job. Tyrese Edwards, Vince Dinkins. We got good players up front, so they've got to be the bell cow, so to speak, here early in the year especially. Our linebackers will be new, and a handful of guys on the back end will be new. But we got good players back there. Maybe haven't started a bunch of games, but they've been in the program for a couple years and they've played. So I expect them to play well.
Now transitioning over to the opposite side of the football, you've got two quarterbacks returning with some playing time from last season, and frankly, a lot of weapons around them as well. Can you kind of give a little idea of what we can expect from that group this Saturday?
Yeah, I think our offense has had a really good August, a good summer leading up to our August camp, and, done a good job. Both Nick and Chase have played, a little bit, not a great deal. Chase has been in the program a long time. Nick, a true freshman last year, got his feet wet and, played 4 or 5 games there. So, but I got a lot of confidence in both those guys. I feel good about our running backs, our receivers. If we can get to the opening gate healthy, I think we got a chance to be, a solid group there. And then, the offensive line, we lost, 4 starters up front. And, those guys that we replaced them with, I think we got a chance to be a really, really good, physical, dominating offensive line.
Yeah, a relatively young team. Only 9 seniors on this roster, but like you said, that definitely adds some excitement to see what these less experienced guys can step up and do.
Yeah, we're a young team, and it's kind of funny to say that with, everybody getting a year back in 2020 for COVID. But 9 seniors isn't a lot of guys, and we lost some good players, but we replaced them with good players. So I'm excited about it.
Absolutely, Coach. It's the first action of the year. Definitely some excitement about this one. Guys are finally going to have an opportunity to go against someone other than themselves. What do you expect to be the motivation for your team going into this one?
Well, for a football player at any level, you spend 340 days a year practicing to get to play a game 13 times.
Right.
So you spend what a phenomenal amount of time practicing, and to get to play a game, that's your that's the fun part of it. Basketball, they get to play 30, 40 games. Football, baseball gets to play 50 games, but football players only get to play 13. And, it's an exciting time. I know they'll go out and they'll play hard. We'll be tough. We'll be physical. Play smart, hopefully, and but play with a lot of enthusiasm and relentless effort.
All right, Coach, my last question here for this week. You've had a stellar playing and coaching career over the years, and you're still so obviously excited about this game, probably the best game, and I think you would agree, the best game that there is in football. How do you mentally prepare? Is it different for a season opener with a lot of noise around it than any other game, or is it just kind of a regular old Saturday preparation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the first games are always a little different. They're always unique in themselves, just because there's so much unknown about your opponent. What schematic changes did they make in the off season? Who did they replace? The players that they lost. Who did they take out of the transfer portal? Now that you've got to be cognizant of that, aware of that there's so many unknowns. Who didn't play last year that they redshirted that they love and is going to play this year that you don't know about. So, the first game, and then you look at yourself. Did I cover everything that I needed to cover? I go back and I look at all my notes from last year to 10 years ago to 20 years ago that, to make sure you cover everything. You watch NFL games, you watch the games last weekend, you watch the game tomorrow night, and just see if there's anything that comes up that you didn't cover. And so you're always, your checklist, you're always looking at that. So I think opening games are always a little bit different than the second game, the third game. You have a better feel and understanding about your team than you do right now.
Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time this week. Good luck against the Dukes on Saturday in Virginia, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week before Colorado State.
Sounds good, my man.
Thanks to George.
So, Watson, you've coached a lot of season openers. How different are they, and was there something different to prepare for?
Well, I just got off the phone before our show started with Trey Lamb, my former quarterback at Tennessee Tech that's now the head coach at Gardner-Webb. And he called and he said, I just need to hear a voice that I know. Were you always a wreck like this before the first game? And I said, brother, you don't even know. You just starting in this stuff. First games are awful, and there's no way to relax. I've said it many times. We're the only sport in college, in the NFL, in Major League Baseball, basketball, that doesn't scrimmage somebody before we play a game. So I'm sitting there listening to Coach Stock, and I'm saying he has no clue how his team's going to play because you just line up against each other, and that doesn't tell you anything. And now with this transfer portal where you fix a team in a lot quicker way than you used to could, George, you used to could say, here's what they got coming back. They redshirted a few, but we knew what we were going to see. Now you're bringing in 7-10 new faces straight from Temple to Pittsburgh to just from everywhere. And then you're stumbling around. How much yards did he gain last year? What kind of player is he? So you're watching film from Temple. Then you watch film from Pittsburgh. Then you watch film from this other guy that came from Tennessee. Whatever it is, it's made it even worse. And all my former players that are now coaches, they're all calling, fussing up a storm. And I just sit back as granddad, like you say, and watch them all just be nervous, Rick, and say, hey, I'm headed to the golf course, babe. Have fun. Enjoy it.
A lot safer. A lot safer. Hey, those of you who are Tennessee fans, get ready. Around 5:30 today, we'll get Watson's key 3 objectives that the Vols are going to try to accomplish tonight against Ball State. After the break, are we headed toward a 12-team college football playoff? Sure sounds like it. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
I am going to read this straight off my trusty little phone because they use a bunch of big words that I don't totally understand. The College Football Playoff's Board of Managers, what in the world is that? Will hold, I'm a board of manager, will hold a virtual meeting tomorrow that could accelerate playoff expansion as early as 2024 if the 11 presidents and chancellors who comprise the sport's most powerful group vote on a format and unanimously agree to it. There is momentum. There's definitely momentum. That's according to a source talking to ESPN. Watson, you know what this is all about, so lay it on us.
George, this is about Power Fives. This is about two conferences. This is about the SEC.
Mountain West?
No. Guess again. This is about the SEC and the Big Ten, and there's so many dadgum schools now. You can't have one team or even possibly two just come out of those conferences. They can't. They had to tell Oklahoma and Texas that this is going to happen, or they never would have joined. And so this is to expand to get these schools. Might have three. You might have four from one of these conferences in a 12-team playoff. Wants to give all these schools a better shot at getting in. I personally think it's a good thing. Myself, I like the expansion, but that's all this is. It's money, money, money on top of that, because you think about how many more games they're going to play for playoffs and how much money that's going to bring in to these Power Five conferences. And that's all this is. There's no way this doesn't happen.
So they have to have a unanimous vote.
That's what
you think they can unanimously agree on anything?
That I don't know, but I would imagine they're getting so much pressure that it would not surprise me that it is a unanimous vote. If it's not this year, it's next. They've got a little bit of time because these conferences haven't merged yet. So when you add UCLA and Southern Cal, and I really think there's going to be more coming to the Big Ten. I think they'll take Oregon. I think they'll take Cal. I think they may take Stanford. I don't know, but they're going to expand. They're going to take more Pac-12s, I think. And then when Oklahoma and Texas come in, that's when this has to be in place. So it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but you just watch. It's in a very short period of time.
Okay, help me with this. I'm assuming 12 teams would be your top fours get a bye. 5 would play 12, 6 would play 11, 7 would play 10, 8 would play 9. Is that what you think it is?
Honestly, I don't. I'd have to really study it, but I don't see any other way it could be. To you, you can't have an odd number. So you've either got to go 2 and have, what would that be? That'd be still 10 and 5 games. Yeah, I'd say you're probably right. I'd say the top 4 would get a bye, and then the rest would have to play a game to get to the top 4 then.
Let me try it this way. The composition of these 12, is this a screw all you little guys, we could care less about you, or do they keep 1 or 2 of the slots for the Boise State, BYU, Memphis, how do you think they do this?
If there's a Cincinnati out there, they get in the same way. If there's not a Cincinnati out there, I don't think they'll get in. They may be going to say they're going to do that, but I don't think it'll happen. They want as many spots as they can get for these Power 5 major conferences, George. I think these conferences are telling Oklahoma and Texas, we'll have 4 out of the SEC in the playoffs. We'll have 4. The Big Ten's going to have 4, and then there are probably going to be 4 more through the rest of the Power 5s with possibly a Cincinnati if one of those group of 5s goes undefeated again. 10-1 in a group of 5, they're not getting in. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it'll happen.
Okay. I'm going to throw a little hypothetical here. Billy, I'm going to put this on you first.
All right.
When they go to 12, because it's not an if, this is a matter of when. When they go to 12, in the first 2 years, will Nashville get to host a game?
Depends on the dome. I mean, we heard it from.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay,
yes,
so let's say, well, okay, let me take that back. That's a dumb question because they won't have that thing built.
Yeah.
By 2024.
If it is built, yes. If not, no.
Watson, are you as sure of that?
I'm just afraid we're a little far north to be outside to be playing in January. Too big a chance on weather. I don't think we would be in the first go around. If the dome's built, absolutely, we're there every year. We're there every year.
There every year, as in hosting a game or in contention.
Hosting a game. I don't see Nashville thrown out. Of how many games would it be? Can we add them up real quick?
You'd have to have 11 losers, so you would have 11 games.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Anybody's got a dome. It's not. Is that a little high, Billy? I can't add it up.
I think George is right. It would be 11 games total, of course.
Yeah.
But my question is, how many different sites do we think? I mean, this can't be, 12. This can't be 6 different. Is this really going to be 6 different sites?
Well, let me ask you this: why not? Why can't you?
Well, I mean, you could split it. Play first round games in Atlanta, and then later down the road you play maybe the championship or semi in Atlanta. So I don't know how they would set it up, but surely Nashville would be in there.
At some point, if we have a dome stadium, I'm with Watson. We're going to get something.
Yeah.
Because even without a dome, Watson, most years, the Music City Bowl is one of your top 10 to 12 to 14 bowls.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it.
I don't think we might be in the first go. I think they're going to, but I think that we would get one sooner or later without the dome. But you have a dome, it's over. You'll get national championship pretty quick with a dome because it's going to be one of the newer ones. So there's no way. That's why I just, when we had talking about that last couple of weeks ago, George said, God, if you're going to spend that kind of money, build a dome. because it could bring so many different type things to Nashville if you're going to do it. And especially when the governor said, we'll give you $500 million, but not unless you build a dome.
Yeah.
I know why he said that, because you start thinking about all the things that could be here, George. Geez, Nashville could take another step with that. So I'm hoping and praying that's what goes down.
Okay, last thing for you. If you're right, and I think you are, where this thing gets jammed with, let's say, 4 SEC and 4 Big Ten, the rest of the country is going to scream and yell. True or false?
Yeah, but nobody is going to care. I mean,
it's like Horton hears a who. Nobody's going to hear him.
George, they want their money. They don't care what you say. I mean, they scream and yell all you want, as long as it's not their fans screaming and yelling. They don't care, and it won't be their fans because they're going to be in the playoffs. So I'll just take the bet. The first 12 that's in, there's 4 from the SEC and 4 from the Big Ten, no less than 7. That'll be the least.
That's a good over-under.
That's a good over-under right there.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind as we get closer. What's that, 2 years away before these conferences start merging? It's 2 years away, right? 2 more seasons?
Over-under.
Okay, we'll see. If Granddad's still alive by then, we'll go with that over-under.
We'll push you out in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Tossing the coin.
See if you can prop me up for a little bit, and then you can lay me back down after it's over.
Down on the sideline as Mac is still coaching.
Oh, God bless him. Go for it, man.
BBC. I didn't know Watson was that bad.
That is so bad.
This is
Watson Day. That's all.
We have lost all control.
This is never going to end.
After the break, this is never going to work. After the break, we have stat of the day, like you really care, and then Underdog Picks, which I do think you care about, and the how do you say that? Reuniting of some long lost friends. This is going to be fun. This is Main Street Media Television. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelly Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really appreciate this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're gonna have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports card, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards.
We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Okay, it's time for Stat of the Day. And does that mean you have to read something?
Yes, it does, George. Stat of the Day time. It is, as always, powered by John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville. You can visit them, of course, Tuesdays through Fridays, noon to 5 o'clock, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Log on to johnenglishgradedcards.com for more info. Also, Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. Call Eric at 615-490-7052 or visit rockcastlewealth.com for more information.
Both of them have great businesses. Check them out.
No doubt. No doubt about it. George, let's get to Stat of the Day, of course, right before Underdog Picks. Which 4 NFL teams have never made it to a Super Bowl?
Okay, you stay out of this.
Okay.
Watson.
Yeah.
Have you recovered from the last segment?
Well, I've been propped up, so yeah, I've recovered.
I apologize. That got out of control.
Yeah, I can tell you really. Thank you for that apology. That is so heartfelt. That means so much to me.
I know it does.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with the Lions. They've never been anywhere.
Nope.
Okay, that's the first one we're going to go with. Watson, anybody on your radar right off the bat? Cleveland, I believe you're right about, would be number 2. I'm stalling around trying to think of numbers 3 and 4. And Billy, I don't want to hear anything. Quiet. Who? JES, of course, made it with Joe Namath.
The Texans have not been there.
The Texans have not been there. That's a good one. That's a third one. Those are 3 you can take to the bank. Who is the 4th?
Chargers have been, right?
Chargers have been. They got beat by San Fran.
Yep.
Pretty good back. I want to say late 80s, early 90s. Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. They've
Trying
all
to go conference by conference.
Yeah, we need to
all
ace
the
that.
West Coast guys, all the West Coast, they've all been in it. All the ones in the Cowboys have been in, and that conference have been in it.
Dallas, Washington Giants, Philly.
Yes, they've all been in it. What about our conference? Colts,
Arizona's been
Jags. Okay. Jags ain't been.
Boom.
4 for 4.
Jags.
You've said 3. You've confirmed 3, right? Or is that
now we've got 4.
Okay. What was the team before the Jags?
Detroit is one of them. Jacksonville is one of them. The Texans are one of them. And who was the fourth?
And the Browns.
And the Browns. That's wonderful. That's good stuff.
Is that a gimme or no?
Yeah.
Definitely one of the easier ones, but you got it.
But we aced it.
Got it done.
Yeah.
We aced it, but it wasn't easy.
Watson, what has been your track record in Underdog Picks?
Very consistent. Very consistent. I'm the most consistent underdog picker you've ever had.
Dead last.
Ugh. Are you having fun with that one? This is Watson Brown Day. What else you got before the show's over? You got anything else written down over there?
I'm about to intro 2 long-lost friends.
Well, I got to get to a couple reads here first, George.
Oh, God knows we don't want to stop you from reading.
No. 5 o'clock hour is powered by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere, whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or major joint replacement. Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Visit mtbj.net for more info. And, of course, Underdog Picks, powered by Sir Speedy. Whether you need top-notch printing, custom web design, or a direct mail marketing campaign, they are ready to help. Get the quality products, services, and experiences your business deserves. Partner with Sir Speedy today by logging onto their website at sirspeedy.com.
Oh, let's just say it the way it is. Sir Speedy.
Sir Speedy.
The official printer of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
Whatever.
No, you don't whatever that. We put a lot of work into that. 2 of the contestants at that deal a year ago are with me. I am excited that they're going to be part of the Underdogs. Let's see. Bottom right-hand corner, young William Donick. Oh, Lord. What in the...
You knew that
really?
was coming.
That's
Go Mets. Go Mets.
No. Take him out of the picture.
We're good only every 5 to 7 years, so we got to just make the most of these opportunities, George.
Right. So you've decided.
I'm taking time out of a matinee at Citi Field against the Dodgers for this particular contest. So
you're losing right now, aren't you?
Yes, we're behind.
How bad?
Well, last I checked, it was 2-1. Oh. Clayton Kershaw was lights out while he was in there. I'm hoping they've taken him out.
And then, bottom left-hand corner, the man who supports the Cleveland Guardians, whoever they are, Darren McFarland. Hello, Darren.
I was putting my left hand up. You said the left-hand side. 1994, George, was the San Diego Chargers. Stan Humphries. Natron means business.
So, are either of you aware that I now have an iPhone?
Oh, you're no longer Flip?
Oh, this is about 3 years in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Darren, we need to know the answer to the second part of the question, though. What number iPhone? Are we on iPhone 2 yet?
6. I'm going to say 6 will be my guess.
It says -2.
That's still progress.
Okay, Willie.
Have you made it to DVD yet, George?
DVD?
Yeah. No, you're still VCR?
No. Come on. You know what? Hold on a second. Let's go ahead and put the picture up there. Okay, this will be the order.
God.
No, Watson.
Good God.
What? Watson.
Look at those pictures.
Sprinkle in a haircut.
Wow.
I feel like Darren got off scot-free here. Like Darren, that's like a modern, professional picture of Darren. It's kind of got a little bit.
Look,
I don't know if I got that far.
Darren, we tried hard on yours. We couldn't find anything all that bad.
Well, that one's my hair was darker, but yeah, you're right. Compared to what's up there, that's not bad. That's probably more current.
Willie, is that in high school?
Oh yeah, I'm representing the Winter Park Wildcats down in Central Florida. There, that would be circa like 1987. There, that's your like Rick Naylor Braves right there for your reference point.
Watson, when we had Wyatt Wilkes from Florida State on, who went to Winter Park, I of course brought up Willie. He had no idea who he was.
Clearly, he didn't know his history very well, but I did get the chance to talk to Wyatt. You did drag him to a Predators game with you, Darren. So we're now on the same page, Wyatt and I. We're both in the top 10 in all-time scoring at Winter Park for hoops.
The difference is he's rising up the list and you're not.
Yeah, no question about it.
Willie, let me do this and Darren can chime in. Young Billy over here is the commissioner. In your mind, what does that mean?
Well, this is interesting for me because I've been known to be the commissioner. I'm a rookie when it comes to actually participating in the contest. So Darren will laugh at this. There was the one year I did the commissioner's pick, the best of the rest. And I got absolutely buried. I was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I clearly did not want to do that the rest of the time. So this is my first legit attempt. So I'm diving into the pool. But as far as being the commissioner, Billy, all I can say is you got to have thick skin. Now, Darren's very professional. He's going to pick his spots. He's going to stand up if he thinks any wrongdoing's happening. I have no doubt that Watson's going to be completely classy about this whole thing. But that George is the guy that's going to stir it up.
Oh, he always does.
So all I can say is the higher up the flagpole you go, the harder the wind blows.
Can I, George, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I mean, are you all gluttons for punishment or something? I mean, why in the world are you coming on with George, knowing what you're getting into, and doing this Underdog Picks? I mean, my hat's off to you guys. I ain't figured this one out just yet. I know he ain't paying you. I know that for a fact. There is no money involved in this. So what in the world are you doing?
Darren, I'd like to hear your answer to that first.
Well, Watson can appreciate this because, George, I stole just kind of a chapter out of your book with what Willie was referencing because, Willie would that particular year, we would get done with our picks and Willie's like, I can't believe no one took Florida. I can't believe no one took Auburn. I was like, well, look, it's real easy for you to sit back and just throw this stuff out there after we've all made our picks.
FAU.
I can't believe no one took FIU. Oh my gosh. And I was like, if you think you've got it figured out, and Watson, this is like stealing lines from George, big boy, why don't you get in there and make some picks? And guess what? He did the next year, and poof.
It was
one and done.
What?
Willie, were you not impeached at one point as commissioner?
I think it was like a Bill Clinton. I was impeached, but I survived somehow. It went to the vote, and it was very close. It came down to the final couple of votes, and I think I just barely got by.
Watson, we had a year where a lot like now, right around the start of September, and we're going to do, I don't know who all was in it. The general probably, Al Dorsey was probably in the middle of it. And so we get to like 30 minutes beforehand, and I see Willie's in a panic, and he doesn't have the results from the year before. So nobody knows who the hell won. Willie comes on the air and he's trying to make up stuff. And so I just decided to say that his young son at the time, Mahoney, ate the records.
Yeah, which is not true, but it might as well have been. It's kind of like when you go up and tell the teacher the dog ate your homework. It's basically that was the best I could come up with for an excuse. I think might as well have been.
Yeah, I was going to say, George, most people use an animal in that scenario, but
right,
you went straight to the kid.
Mahoney.
Straight to the kid.
Yeah. The little rat.
But it just sort of illustrates that it's never been real high tech, right? We don't have this on some sort of spreadsheet and website computerized. It's just a lot of jotting down in the spiral notebook.
Can we go back to the picture for just a second? Watson, what was the deal with the hair?
George, that may be the last picture of me healthy that was ever made. That might be the last picture when I had a good arm, a good leg. I mean, that might be it. You may have come up with one there. I don't know, pal.
What year do you think that was?
That's going in. That's the summer preseason practice of my junior year. I know exactly when that was.
Oh, wow.
By the jersey that we're wearing. So I know.
Okay, last thing before we go to the break and then let Billy take over, although I have a feeling as commissioner, he's going to screw it up, Willie.
Well, he's a rookie. You got to give him a little slack. He'll get the flow.
Okay. Before we do go to the break, any helpful hints for him as to how to handle this?
No, I have confidence in Billy. I think you know how to pick young talent. I think Billy can handle this. There are going to be some growing pains. I think there'll be challenges, but I have full confidence that he is going to take this mantle and run with it.
Willie, I'm hoping George has lost a little bit of steam, a little bit of.
You're hoping he's mellowed out. You're hoping he's mellowed out a little bit.
So, Watson, this last thing, we're not going to do it on here, but as you know, in the past, we would all come in with theme music.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. And Darren would come in with this Indian Fever, Be a Believer. And Darren, could you give us a couple of the notes at the end of it?
Catch Indian fever, be a believer in the Cleveland Indians. Boom, 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 boom. I miss that song.
How do you do it though with the Guardian? I mean, how do you?
I know it's just not the same.
Okay, we'll come back with our week number 1 picks in just a moment. Great to have Willie and Darren back in here with me. Watson Brown alongside. Poor Billy is the commissioner. This is Main Street Media Television.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. One area I can help with is if you are newly or nearly retired, or maybe have changed jobs and have an old 401k account. You may need more information to help you clearly understand your options. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Do you love bacon? I mean, do you really love bacon? Who doesn't, right? The 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Fest is coming up Saturday, September 10th. Admission and parking are free. The Bacon Festival will feature live music, food, and craft vendors. And did I say bacon? You can ride a mechanical hog ride, visit the Kids Zone with free inflatables. There will also be hourly raffles with great prizes and an opportunity to purchase Bacon Festival merchandise. And did I say bacon? Yeah, there will even be a bacon eating contest. Visit the 3rd annual Murfreesboro Bacon Festival Facebook page for all the details.
When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
So here's the way Underdog Picks work. It's essentially going down the spreadsheet of this week's college football games, and you have to pick a winner from the underdog side that you think will win the game outright. I'll give you a crazy, for instance. Tennessee's about a 34-point favorite tonight against Ball State. If you think Ball State wins and you turn out to be right, not only will they be going nuts about 200 miles to the east, but you'll get 34 points because you picked a 34-point underdog. Now, I don't think in the history of this thing anybody's ever cashed in a 34-pointer, but that's sort of the way the whole game works. Commissioner Billy Derrick, are you ready?
I'm ready to roll. Let's do it.
Now, you have to signal who gets the first pick.
All right, so up first, as the picture said, young Watson Brown is up first. Watson, it is your stage to take.
I already like you, Commissioner, better. I'm already feeling pretty good about this. So every other commissioner's had me pick dead last in the first week. Every year I've picked dead last, and I think George is the culprit behind that.
I'm the one that put you first this year.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, 300 shots at me today, and one nice thing you did. Guys, I'm ready to bring some of you back to work with him. This is getting a little crazy. I'm going to take the Boilermakers to upset Penn State at home. That's going to be my pick. What is it? I don't know what are we using this year, George? What is our?
No, because we haven't given it the thought we should have. We will go with scores and odds Okay,
what
Aaron,
is it? 'Cause
that
I don't have
reputable to you?
Scores and odds.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
That's a site. Right there.
You can tell I bet a lot, Darren, right?
George, I will ask this to the commissioner. I mean, commissioner, shouldn't that be your decision? This is you can overrule the director here because you have the right as the commissioner to veto that.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm as familiar with scores and odds as I am with a FanDuel. I think we should talk
Scores
about
and
that.
odds.
I've never heard of scores and odds.
Well, on scores and odds, how many points is it? What's
The
spread?
same as it would be with FanDuel or any of the others. Purdue is a 3.5 point dog.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't the commissioner know this?
I just pulled it up.
That's
3.5. 3.5.
Just to exert your authority, Billy, you should have just vetoed it and said, we're going with FanDuel. We're not going with what George threw out there.
I got to learn how to take my jabs when I can. Take those moments when I can.
You got to grab your turf.
When I first hired you, what did you get paid?
What did I get paid? Can we say? I would say it was. If I
You probably got paid in rubles.
Rubles might have been worth more than what I got paid. I think it was like $5 an hour.
It was $5 an hour. We were in bankruptcy.
Yeah. I was glad to get the $5 an hour because
Right.
I had to supplement. You also helped me get the job at the Green Hills Y, folding the towels and showing people how to use the weight machines. The 6 a.m. shift before the show. That was good.
That was big.
George, did he have a debit card at that time?
Watson, there is a story that I had when Willie first came on. I tried to be the good soldier and pay for meals. I mean, we were screwing him over big time. His checks would bounce. We were in bankruptcy. And so we go over to what then was the box seat on Bandywood Drive in the Green Hills area. And Willie makes this big power play that I'm going to pay. You've been paying for everything. So he gave him a debit card and the thing bounced. It was great. God, I loved holding that over him.
One of the better moments of my rookie year.
What is the term?
It was very flimsy. It did not have the sufficient funds on the.
I kept calling it the flimsy debit card.
Yeah.
Insufficient funds.
Insufficient funds. I was asked to go back into the kitchen to wash dishes to cover the meal there, but George was able to pick up the tab, as he normally did anyway.
I did that earlier today for Watson.
Yeah, and that's the first one in probably 30 years, guys, since he bought you one, Willie. That's probably the first one. So.
Okay, most importantly, I think Watson's got a winner. Willie?
Yeah, it's a good pick. It's a good pick. I like this pick. Although,
I had it.
James Franklin. I like James Franklin, but that's a solid pick. I think Purdue could win.
Yeah. We all think you're going to win, Watson. Good luck.
Yeah, that's why I'll be dead last next week.
Kiss of death.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Up next, we got Mr. Darren McFarland. And I'm not sure. I know Watson was happy to be up at the top. I'm not sure where Darren usually is. Is this his first time in the Plaster Underdog Picks?
Oh, good Lord, no.
No?
Darren is a multi-year champion. He's a multi-time champion.
Oh, wow.
And listen, spends more time on it than anybody. He would show prep it, and he had the song, Indian Fever, Be a Believer.
So how about it? Darren McFarland, you are on the clock.
I would call my guy Jack Price, George, and he would say, I'm going to bury your guy. And he would give me a good pick. For all the UT fans that are going to be watching their game tonight, he's kind of got a little bit of a connection with UT. A little bit. It was for a minute.
Jack Price?
No, that's a good guess. But Greg Schiano had a little bit of a history with UT.
A little bit.
I'm going to go with Rutgers to beat Boston College.
Oh.
Wow. That's bold.
Billy, since you don't know, Rutgers is a 7-point dog at Chestnut Hills.
I wasn't told I had to have these lines ready, George.
Well, how did you think it was going to work?
I mean, I wasn't ordered that way.
Willie, is this not simply a lack of preparation?
Yeah. Does there need to be a little ex-commissioner to the new commissioner tutorial or something? Is there
lack of leadership? Lack of leadership from the top.
Billy,
I think
you've got my number if you need to brush up on this. But the key is really just to always act like you're in control, even when you're not.
I've got Willie in my corner.
This game is on ACC Network. Does anybody know how to get that? Because I don't think I have it.
I get it. I'll call you and keep you updated on it.
Okay. Watson, only if I'm winning. Could you do that?
Okay, so if the phone don't ring, you know you're in trouble, boy.
I know BC is smoking them.
Watson, by the way, the general picked the game one year, just some ridiculous thing, and I announced on the air that it would be on Misler. It was funnier about 10 years ago.
People don't even want Misler.
I know. It's annexed into ESPN Plus.
I think, George, that conversation morphed into the general had to pick games where they had stands on both sides.
Watson, he had a series of really MAC games, stuff out of nowhere. And finally, I just said it one day. I said, shouldn't we have a rule where whoever you pick needs to have stands on both sides? And the general went red-faced. He didn't know what to say. It really threw him off a little bit. And he actually, picked a Division I team. So this is now Willie?
It's now Willie Donick. We got Willie Donick up next. Willie, I'm not sure what your success level has been. I've heard a lot of
track record other than the one unofficial year where I had the commissioner best of the rest pick. It was awful. So I actually had Rutgers on my list of I got my little list here. So
you have a little sheet?
Yeah, I did some show prep here, George. You'll be
How
happy.
long ago?
About 30 minutes before showtime. I was able to take a look.
That's nice.
I'm going to go with West Virginia on the road at Pitt. Pitt is a top 25 team. They're playing Tennessee here soon, so I'm sure a lot of Tennessee fans will be watching. I kind of like West Virginia as a chance to pull the upset against a preseason top 25. We know how tenuous a preseason top 25 ranking can be.
So there you have it. West Virginia, they're a plus 7.5. You can take them plus 7.5 against Pitt. But Willie's going outright at Pitt tonight. That's bold, too. We got some bold picks early on. All right.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And last but certainly not least, George Plaster on the stage. You're the first edition, week 1 of Underdog Picks. George, take it away.
I'm going to go with one nobody sees coming. Willie, do you remember our little trip to Denton, Texas?
I do.
Wasn't that a beautiful stadium?
A beautiful stadium with the worst AstroTurf in the history of AstroTurf. But it was also a memorable game because the Commodores got a road win. That didn't happen very often when you and I were on the announcing team.
That's true.
Against the Mean Green.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mean Green at home against SMU.
Ooh. That's
11-point dog. If I win, 11.
11 dog.
A little meat on the bone.
You like
a bit of meat on the bone.
Big Mean Green fan. You had him last week.
I had him last week. Darren, I had him against UTEP in a game where there were sections available at kickoff.
I think you could have stood on the sidelines if you wanted to.
You're right. The Sun Bowl never looked better.
I've been to the Sun Bowl.
Have you?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Texas, Priest Holmes had 4 touchdowns in that bowl game. Texas and North Carolina, 1994, 3, 2, something like that. 93, probably.
It was right, one of the schools.
Watson, it was right after Mac left to go to Texas.
Was that the game, Darren, and it snowed during the game?
It did.
I remember that.
It did snow.
George, it's a pretty stadium. I mean, the big, it looks like a big rock to me, but I mean, the hills behind it and everything, it's really a pretty place now. You'd be surprised. It's just not as pretty empty like it gets with El Paso games.
And it was very empty last week. They also had a lightning delay. Okay, let's review the picks.
All right, let's review, George, and we will eventually have a big graphic up. I don't know if I'll be able to have time to make that.
Well, go
back.
Back for a moment to the picture.
Oh, we'll go back to the picture to substitute it. So, number 1, Watson Brown. He took Purdue plus 3.5 over Penn State tonight. That one is in West Lafayette. So Purdue at home against Penn State. Watson's got the Boilermakers to win that one, plus 3.5 over Penn State. Number 2, Darren McFarland. He's taking Rutgers plus the 7 over Boston College. So that's what Darren's going with. Rutgers plus 7 over Boston College. Number 3, Willie Donick takes West Virginia tonight, plus 7.5 over Pitt. That is at Pitt. So I think that's the boldest of the group, West Virginia over Pitt. And George taking North Texas plus 11 over SMU, taking the Mean Green again. And there you see it. Can Watson stay atop? That's my biggest question here. How long does Watson stay at the top? The obligatory number 1. Can he stay there?
Okay, I want you to listen. Go ahead.
If history repeats itself, this will be it.
Willie, I want you
1 week.
I want you to teach Billy how to close this out in style.
Well, what you have to do is after you enthusiastically recap the picks, you have to wish everybody good luck. And I'm just going to tell you, this is where you're going to have some thick skin because you're going to get some wisecracks.
Oh man, George.
Okay, so let's practice it.
Okay,
go.
Well, I'll start with Willie because he's going to be.
Oh, no, you just have to address the group. Just address the group.
Not one by. Okay, gentlemen, everybody. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, whatever.
Week 1 of Underdog Picks.
Same to you, pal. Willie, I'll never forget the first time he busted that line out there. Let's hear it, Willie.
Well, I would just, try to get everybody fired up, get excited for the weekend. And I would say, those are our picks for week whatever. Gentlemen, good luck.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. This started when you had lost about 8 in a row.
Right. And I remember one time I said, you don't mean it.
No, you sense sarcasm. See, that's the thing. Billy, I truly wanted my constituents to do well. I hoped everybody won every week, but George he didn't believe that.
How does everything depend on George's mood with Underdog Picks?
About nailed it. You about nailed it.
So kind of
wise beyond his years.
So kind of reverse psychology. I should root for George so that he's not giving me very much crap every day. Or is it?
It don't work.
It doesn't matter.
It ain't gonna work.
Darren, you want the last word on that question?
I'm not touching that one with a 800-foot pole, man.
Hey, I appreciate both of y'all joining us. This is really cool.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Thanks,
what we got, Willie? 2-2 and
the Mets have gone ahead 3-2, but the Dodgers had the leadoff man on in the 7th.
Go Dodgers. I've always been a big Dodger fan.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
guys, thank you.
Yes, and good luck to everybody.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Okay. Great to have Willie and Darren back with us. Let's go to the break, and when we come back, we'll get to Watson's 3 keys about tonight. Well, not keys necessarily. 3 objectives for Tennessee as they get ready to take on Ball State in about 25 minutes at Neyland Stadium. This is Main Street Media Television. Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
Well, you might hear that song a few times tonight as Tennessee's about 20 minutes away from opening against Ball State. By the way, we will open up the phone lines and take some of your calls in about 4 minutes. There is the number, 615-588-2998. We think we have the phone stuff fixed. Have I said that before? Yeah, but I think we do. So, Watson, I don't think there's a lot of doubt that Tennessee's likely to win tonight. And oftentimes in games that you think you know where it's going to play out, it gets a little sloppy. But let's run through about 3 things you want to see Tennessee achieve tonight, objectives, if you will.
From last year to this year, to me, George, the first one would be more consistent offense. And everybody's talked about how good their offense has been. But when you're a fast-paced offense and you don't keep the ball, they had too many times in second quarters or third quarters where they just could not move the ball. And honestly, when that happens, you're probably throwing 3 more possessions in that quarter than normal on your defense. And so I think the thing where I think they've got to really get better to help their defense is more consistency through the game and moving the football and not turning it over and not punting it in those quarters like I'd see them do last year. Even in the Purdue game last year, it happened some.
Yeah, they would go through places where they would be unstoppable, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, they'd hit a wall, concentration, whatever. Let's go to number 2.
I think the defense has got to improve with the help of the offense. I got to see an improved defense with better players and a deeper defense, George. I want to see more players playing. I don't want to see them as tired as I'd see them be in the fourth quarter. Both teams will be tired the way Tennessee plays offensively. And I can remember the Ole Miss game last year. Nobody could stand up on either side of the ball. I mean, everybody was wore out. Tennessee has got to be deeper, and they've got to play better on defense to jump their record up to where we're saying somewhere in that 9-3 range. They've got to be better defensively and deeper defensively.
And last but not least, number 3.
There's a lot of new names I'm hearing, and I'm anxious to watch them to not see these new people, offense and defense. Is Brew McCoy. I'm hearing great things about him. I want to watch him play. New faces with the Florida offensive tackle that came in. Is he going to be the starter, or is he just a backup? Quite a few new tailbacks. I'm really anxious to see if Tennessee has come up with that playmaker, that the one guy that you can go to, that I didn't really think they had that guy last year. A lot of people made plays, but I want to see if their speed, that's the guys touching the ball, there's more playmakers around. I'm anxious to watch these new faces.
Yep. Okay, 6 o'clock tonight for kickoff. Tomorrow during the 4 o'clock hour, we'll get knee-deep into the good, bad, and perhaps the ugly. Now, we're going to open up phone lines. Looks like we've got some callers ready. So let's go first of all. Jeff in Murfreesboro, welcome into Main Street Media Television.
How you doing, George?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Watson, how you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you, man?
I'm pretty good. Are you surprised the Goats 2-0 so far?
Who are you talking about is 2-0?
Goat, Gary Rankin, Boyd Buchanan.
No, he's going too good, Jeff. I mean, wherever he's been, he always does.
I'm just saying, he told me the first thing he played wasn't very good, and last week I thought they played somebody a little bit better.
Yeah. Their competition, Jeff, picks up. He's in a tough.
I know what's going to. I understand that. I just didn't know.
He's a great coach. He's been a great coach everywhere he's ever been. So nothing surprises me.
He's best there. He's best high school coach I've ever seen. No question about that. But George, I did want to say something about this Ball State business. You remember Georgia State a few years ago, don't you?
Sure.
Well, it could happen tonight, you know.
Could.
Y'all think roll 49-0. We're going to roll and strut. See, it did happen that day at Georgia State. The Georgia State coach said SEC, it just means more. It meant more to us today. Because they're riding in that school bus, $100 bills are flowing. Because that UT fan said, we better not give them a check. It might bounce all over the place. You know it? So, I say Tennessee better get strap it on, get ready. All right? But they think they're going to roll and strut. They got another thing coming. I mean, Hooker ain't no Heisman Trophy candidate. Who you trying to fool? He thinks he is, but he's not. He had to go to Tennessee to beat Kentucky. Virginia Tech couldn't beat him that bowl game. Somebody, Lynn Bowden, was quarterback. He told him he couldn't throw the ball. He just threw the game-winning touchdown passes off. So, okay, Kentucky's got Miami, Ohio State. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm sure they'll win or whatever they do. But, as far as that goes. But I weak Tennessee fans are all too hyped up about anything. Which I'm surprised you ain't talking about Vanderbilt. They won 63 last week. I'm surprised you ain't talked about that. But I see that Vanderbilt being high to Tennessee up at top. So, we know all that. But it's going to be a good first weekend of college football, and you guys hang in there and have a good one. See you.
See you, Jeff.
I love it. Jeff. You don't hear many people.
There was no preseason in Jeff.
You don't hear many people talk the way Jeff just did. I like
Jeff
it.
Kicks it off right, man.
I love
like
it.
Jeff, go for it.
That's
I like Jeff.
That's how you start the football
one,
season.
shot number 2, shot number 3. Let's go, Tony in Nolensville. Tony, tell us about, first of all, before we go anywhere else, the mercy clock thing in college that I didn't think existed apparently does.
Well, George, I think Tony dropped off the line. So I'm
How
sure.
could he do that?
I'm sure he'll attempt to call back though.
Hold on.
Oh, is this him?
Yeah.
I'm here.
There he is. My bad, Tony.
I'm here, guys. I don't know why I got bumped off, but I'm here.
Well,
are you there?
Yeah. Tell us about the mercy thing.
Well, that mercy rule that come into play, I was incorrect on talking about the 45-point deal. That was for the 6-man high school games that are going on where they play the 6-man league. But there is a mercy rule that is in effect for the 11-man college football games, to where if the coaches do agree going into the second half to start playing a 12 or 10 minute quarters, if the point total is, just out of hand, and at the same time, if it is a weather possibility or weather issue, and or if the teams are just, I don't want to say just blowed out and gas, but there is some type of rule that is out there about cutting the quarters in the second half to 12 or 10 minutes. It's got to be agreed on by both coaches. At the same time, with the running clock continuing, except for injury, timeouts, and that type of thing. And it's I don't know if many teams are going to implement it. It's got to, like I say, be agreed on both coaches. So it's one of those gray areas in the no man's land, if you want to call it, to where if the coaches are going to agree to it, to shorten the games and create that mercy rule.
Tony,
passed by the NCAA.
We have late word that Timmy Chang wants to know more. Give him a holler.
He might want to know more after Western, for damn sure.
Oh gosh.
Watson, question for you. Back in 1890, what was the weather like on the day that the Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Pittsburgh team in the first triple-header ever? What was the weather like?
I'm telling you, everybody just taking shots at me today.
Well, I was told it was sometimes a granddad show, so I didn't know.
Oh my God, Tony!
I
love you, man. You can't.
I love you, but I'm going to stay off of Mr. Derrick today. But I thought I'd just ask you what was the weather like that day. If anybody knew, might have been watching.
Oh, that's awful.
That is so.
That's even worse.
Tony, thanks for laying off me today.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about, by the way?
Who?
George, what are you laughing about?
You know I love you, Watson.
You're saying
I love you too, Tony, and I promise you George paid you to do that. The check will be in the mail. George paid you to do that, so I understand.
Watson, you won't believe it, but we went to old Charlie's Wednesday, and I got free pie from George.
Tony, I did a bad thing today. I let him pay. That was the worst mistake I've made since I've been working with him. That is the worst mistake I ever made.
Well, it's the only time you've had to consider it.
I've got to give a shout out to George Plaster. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame, Broadcasting Hall of Fame. But guys, the shows y'all have put together this week. Watson, I know you would have liked to ask Candace a lot of questions, and sorry that happened yesterday. But the shows you've put together with Coach Stockstill and Candace, George, it's really, really phenomenal. And I think this is what's drawing your listeners more so than any other call-in show on a sports talk show. And I just want to give you some kudos for the people you do bring out and bring to the forefront, giving us answers to questions that many people ask or, that would like to ask. And you get them done. And I just want to say kudos to that. And the last thing I want to say to you guys is I love George Watson, but especially George. Good job on bringing the band back together. It was fun to see that. And I think that all of you have some good picks. It's interesting to see the good quality games that are on the week 1 schedule.
That's awesome.
And I think it's going to be fun to see a lot of them. I'm going to let y'all comment on that. I'm going to hang up. And as always, George, great show. Watson, I tell you what, you know who you are, Watson. Let me tell you who you are. In the Green Mile, the guard that was given the extra long life in the Green Mile.
Does that mean
that's who you are from the mouse and from from the prisoner? That's who you are, Watson. Tony, leave y'all alone, guys. Have a great show. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Thank you.
We just trying to keep from propping me up in 2 years right now, right? That's the next goal here.
So I know this may be hard to see, but yesterday on Twitter, and I know a little bit about Twitter because I actually have an account and we have a show account. Mine is George Plaster TN. The show account is simply the George Plaster Show. Yesterday, we had more than 3,000 people watch this show on Twitter, and we are very appreciative of that. Really appreciative because, look, this is a new startup thing. There are days we don't know every last thing we need to know, but we are trying hard. Man, it's good to have Watson Brown with me in this venture. Same thing with Billy, who has been rock solid. Billy, here the three on the right-hand side I need some help on. Roku TV.
Yeah, so George,
for somebody who doesn't know, what does that mean?
So Roku TV is an app it's an app, but that's where you get the app on the Roku TV. So it's a type of smart TV where just in this generation, most people do have a smart TV. So the Roku TV, you can watch us if you do have a Roku TV. So as you showed it up there, George, Roku TV is one of the options they can watch it. You see their bottom Spotify and Apple Podcast as well, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
I look better this way. So, okay, hold on. What Spotify, am I right, is the one that if you're driving home, you can get on Spotify and essentially listen to us like radio?
Yeah, so it won't be live, but it's the podcast version. So later tonight, the podcast version will be up. So in the morning, if you missed us live, you can hop onto Spotify or even Apple Podcasts and listen to us again. If you missed a preview or, Watson's Tennessee objectives as well, you can always go back and listen. Twitter, of course, has been going crazy. Facebook and YouTube are solid as well. So there's almost too many ways, but
we are really appreciative.
Yeah, Tony, those were nice words. That's what makes it special.
He took a shot at Watson. The rest of it was very nice. Watson, we'll go to the break, and I will give you 2 winners when we come back on games tonight in college football. Not 1, but 2. This is Main Street Media Television.
Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 1045 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back into the George Plaster Show. I'm Billy Derrick, bringing you back in for the final quick segment here. Plaster's Bet of the Day, sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law. Since 1975, Bart Durham Injury Law has aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. Learn more about Bart Durham Injury Law by logging on to bartdurham.com. And let's take a look here at George's results. Lost one last night with Atlanta. Yeah, you did get
hosed. 2-out, ninth inning homer to cut a 3-0 lead down to 3-2.
Yeah,
very bitter.
I mean, I checked the score early. I think 4th or 5th inning. I said, "Oh, George has got it. He's got it in the bag." But not so much. So you're 22-17 now, George. So you've got some breathing room. You've got it there for you. You've got 2 bets tonight. Is that right?
Oh yes.
All right, so 2 bets. Let's
Watson,
go with the first one here. Here it is.
I'm with you on this. Not only do I think Purdue covers, I think they win the game outright.
Well, it'd be nice to get one right. So let's see.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost Watson.
Going to score a lot of points.
Oh, we got
him. This one is on Fox at 7:00 tonight. This is a really good season opener. Now, the next one is a dud, and New Mexico State's a dud. I don't think Minnesota will score 37. I don't look at Minnesota and go, ooh, wow, great offense. Watson, this is just sort of a stab in the dark.
That one is a stab. New Mexico State is bad, George. So, I mean, just think about Hawaii last week, and I'm not sure 36 ain't that hard when Hawaii gave up 63. So
let's put it this way. New Mexico State is in a group that I would describe as the dregs of society.
Watson, you know who their coach is, right?
Yeah.
They've got Jerry Kill, the former Minnesota coach, over there now.
Yeah, and that is a plus for George. That is, because believe me, they will be ready to play. Because
they will play hard.
He is not a Minnesota fan anymore. I can tell you that. So
the return.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the 2. Watson, I know you're going to join us for one segment tomorrow when we sort of break down what went on tonight in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Ball State. Until then, you try to behave.
I'll see if I can get younger for you by tomorrow, George.
I'm not bothered by it.
You're not? Well, that's nice. Then quit talking about it.
No, wow.
You're not bothered by it. Jeez.
Not at all. I'm proud to have you as a teammate.
Oh, aren't you sweet? That's a good way to end it right there. Yeah.
It really was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Guys, good luck this weekend.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We're out of here. See you tomorrow.